Hello, and welcome to this video tutorial on Mason's new assessment software, which is Nuventive. You can start by going to the web address solutions.nuventive.com. You will click a sign in button at the top, and through single sign-on will automatically be logged into your homepage. Once you are logged in, you will have the permissions for the program or programs for which you oversee. This is an example and a program sample for the academic assessment space. If you only oversee one academic program, this will be the only one you see when you select the dropdown at the top of the screen. If you oversee multiple programs or are part of the school college leadership, you will see all of the programs for which you oversee or which you are part of organizationally when you select the drop-down menu at the top. Like I said, this is a sample for what you will see when you log in. This homepage will begin to look more diverse, the more outcomes and more years for which you enter your findings. For this particular sample, this program, which was created, simply has 3 learning outcomes, and I will talk you through how to enter information for each of those outcomes. Start by going up to the menu screen on the top left side of your screen, the 3 horizontal bars, or the hamburger menu, which is frequently referred to as. From there, you will be able to navigate around your program page. From your home page, which is what you land on, we'll start with the first section on general information. This is pre-populated for you already with your information for your mission statement, your school college, your department division, and your individual assessment contact. All of this information can be edited whenever you'd like by going over to the right side of your page and selecting the 3 vertical buttons. By selecting that, you will be able to either print the screen, delete any of this information, or edit it. Once you edit, you will be able to click directly into the various fields and make changes. Please note that there's also small information icons above certain categories so that you can click on this to get more information about how to write, in this particular instance, an effective mission statement. You can also change any organizational structure you wish if your program has switched to do school or college or is reporting to a different department division. You can also enter new assessment contact information if there is a change in that information. The second page that you will go to is your program assessment plan and results. This is where you'll be entering your annual academic assessment information. When you select this, you will see all of the outcomes for which you have information here. If you wish to enter new outcomes, simply click the plus icon on the top right part of the screen. This will allow you to start new with a fresh and new outcome. However, let's take a look at the existing outcomes which have been loaded into the system for all academic programs. First of all, you'll see that there's our drop-down menus here at the top of the screen where you can select the type of outcomes you wish to look at, both active and archived. We always advise programs not to delete outcomes and rather archive them when they are no longer valid for your program. Additionally, for assessment periods, this is something that will become more populated as we use Nuventive more, but you will be able to scroll down and select different years so you can see the outcomes that are effective for that particular year. In this particular instance, though, let's just focus on these 3 outcomes. Let's just use the top one for written reports. First of all, you'll notice this double vertical circle icon here on the left-hand side of your screen. This allows you to drag and move the outcomes along the page. You can certainly move the outcomes that you're assessing in a particular year to the top, which would move other outcomes down. Within these outcomes, there is a number of different pieces of information. To get to that information, simply click on the vertical buttons over on the right-hand side and select Open. This then provides you with a page with 3 subheaders across the top. First, student learning outcomes, then assessment method, finally findings and improvement. Within this page, this provides you information that you can edit on an annual basis regarding the student learning outcome label. This is simply a shorthand version of the longer and more in-depth student learning outcome language. So for this particular instance, the student learning outcome is that students will demonstrate competency in the completion of written scientific reports and reforms. The outcome label is simply written reports. Again, there's information that provides a little bit more detailed explanation when clicking on the information icon for each. This also allows you to select the outcome status. Obviously, this is an active outcome. This also allows you to enter the assessment period. If it was for this coming year, it would be 23-24, but you can certainly also select the information from last year from 22-23. Additionally, there is a new dropdown, which is a new part of the assessment process that says, does this student learning outcome align with any of the following SHEV competencies? The Commonwealth has 6 competencies that Mason is responsible for: civic engagement, critical thinking, inquiry skills, oral communication, quantitative reasoning, and written communication. If you feel that your program outcome speaks to any of these outcomes, please select them in the appropriate dropdown. There is no additional work or responsibilities that you have to complete if you say that, yes, this outcome is part of a written communication competency. It just allows our office to know that this is an outcome that can speak to that written communication standard for SHEV, and we may be able to use some of the information from your program when showing SHEV how we measure written communication. Additionally, there is a dropdown for you to indicate whether or not this is an externally accredited standard. Some programs have standards that are written for them by external accreditors, and this allows them to make that designation. You can also type directly into the notes section here if there's any other information that you would like to present regarding the outcome, perhaps any language change or anything tied to the external accreditation, or just any other information that might be helpful for other people in your program or those of us in institutional effectiveness and planning when we review the outcome. The second tab at the top is assessment method. By clicking on this, this allows you to enter more information about the assessment methods used for that particular outcome or that assessment cycle. Again, going over to the right side of the page, you can click on the 3 dots, click open, and this provides you the ability to directly go in and enter and edit information. The first thing you will do is indicate whether or not the assessment measure you used for that particular outcome was a direct or indirect measure. There's an information icon above that explains the difference between direct and indirect measurements, as direct measurements are what we typically think of in terms of projects, assignments, exams, while indirect measures are often things like interviews, focus groups, or survey data. Both can be helpful, but from an accreditation standpoint, all programs must use a direct measure of assessment at least once when assessing an outcome. That does not mean that you cannot have multiple assessment methods for a particular outcome, one direct and one indirect. This also then allows you to add a description of the assessment measure into the Word document here, the Word box. And this provides you the information to put in how you're going to be assessing the method. Then it allows you to update the assessment status as well as the achievement target. The achievement target is the level by which you would consider the SLO to be successfully met. This is entirely at the discretion of the program. Some programs are dictated to by external accreditation regarding their assessment targets and achievement targets, but otherwise this is at the discretion of the program. You can also provide additional supporting documentation here by simply clicking on the Add Document page. This will take you to a document repository, which I'll show you later, that you can add information to throughout the process. You can add documents such as the assignment, instructions themselves, perhaps the survey results, or a rubric that might be used to assess. All of this information can be entered through the documentation portal there. Finally, you'll want to go to Findings and Improvements. This is where you will again go over to the particular year that you're going to be assessing and select the open. This will provide you a great amount of information to enter for this particular year. First, you'll enter your findings date, typically the end of the semester when the data is collected for student learning outcomes. Secondly, you'll put in your findings. What percentage of your students were proficient at achieving this particular outcome? Then it'll allow you to also put down whether or not you have met your target, partially met your target, or not met your target in terms of student competency and proficiency of the particular outcome based upon the achievement target that you selected on the previous page. It is important to note that even if you only partially or do not meet the target, nothing negative will take place. This is just a way of making sure that you are able to track how your students are performing on this particular outcome. It is common routine for findings to fall slightly below the achievement target. It simply means that there's an opportunity for continuous improvement, which is the very essence of assessment. This also allows you to put in the individuals responsible for this assessment. For instance, a professor who may be teaching a capstone course for this particular program. You're also able to enter the number of students assessed and also speak to the analysis of the results, explaining how the students did on the rubric, whether there were certain dimensions of a particular outcome for which the students did better than others, whether certain student populations outperformed other populations, etc. Here you can also provide additional documentation, including, if you would like, anonymized student work and any other assessment materials such as completed rubrics or assignment design. There's also a section for you to insert charts and graphs if that's something that is necessary for this particular assessment assignment. At the bottom, you'll see the actions and improvement plans. The first section focuses on your past improvements. What has been done over the last several years to improve this particular outcome in terms of different pedagogy, different assignment design, etc. The next is what changes will be made moving forward, future improvements. Remember that you assess your outcomes once every several years, so future improvements may take multiple years to actually implement, but this is a way of tracking what you hope to achieve in terms of developing future improvements. One thing to emphasize that even if you do meet your assessment targets, you should still develop future improvements. All student learning outcomes can be improved on an annual basis. Assessment is the very nature of continuous improvement. This also provides you an opportunity for you to place a date by your future continuous improvements and the person responsible for the continuous improvement plan, as well as at the very bottom, the resources that might be needed to complete this, both in terms of money and in terms of human resource power. Once you're completed, click Save. And that is how you will complete your assessment report. In order to get a Word document of your assessment report, you'll simply be able to go up here to the menu again, click on Reports, and you can go to Assessment Report to Column Report. This will generate an automatic Word document that provides a very nice overview of your program information, as well as the information that you've entered for that particular year. This assessment report is downloadable as both a Word and PDF document. For academic programs, you will also notice that there is a program review section in Nuventive. This is a new feature that will allow you to complete program review through the assessment software. Much as you just saw with the program plan and results section, this is something where you'll be able to click through and enter information into different modules. If you want to get a sneak peek of this, you're able to go click into the program review section, click Edit, and again, you will see the different sections for program review that you will be responsible for completing as part of the self-study. There will be instructions attached to each, and this is where you will complete all of that information. More information about how to complete the academic program review section of Nuventive will be provided to programs as they start the academic program review process. Finally, there is a document library. If you select document library, you will see several different folders. There's a general folder as well as folder with historic data. Our Office of Institutional Effectiveness and Planning has uploaded last year's assessment reports to your program so that you're able to go back and refer to historical data. If you wish to enter new documents into Nuventive, please feel free. You can create new folders by simply clicking on the Add Folder icon. But if you would like to add information through the general folder, you're able to simply go into that folder and then click on the Add Document. From there, you will simply choose your file destination, name your document, or provide a URL to that document, as well as a brief description. There is no limit to the number of documents that you're able to upload into the system. That is a brief overview of how to complete and how to use the new assessment software, Nuventive, for your annual academic assessment. If you have any questions or concerns about Nuventive, please feel free to reach out to our office at oiep@gmu.edu. Again, if you have any concerns or questions about the Nuventive platform and academic assessment, please feel free to reach out to oiep@gmu.edu. Thank you.